Hello everybody. Today we are going to be reading a Zuko Midoriya ex-listener. As you can see from the picture it's right there. This is an Zuko Midoriya ex-villain reader. It's a bit angsty. I read it and I found it kind of cool. So I'm going to put on some music because you guys actually enjoyed that. I'm going to test out during my lunch break if I can play music on my computer and if the computer can pick it up better than my phone. But for the time being, we are going to be doing it this way. So, here's some anime openings. I know, it's beautiful. Okay. Gonna turn it down a bit because I can barely hear myself. Yeah. Okay. So, reader's quick. Combustion. Based on how hot your body is, you can spontaneously combust into flames. The severity of the flames is based on how high or low your body temperature is. The colder you are, the less deadly your flames are. Okay, let's get started. This one's a long one, so get comfortable. Oh yeah, and thank you for everyone who joined my live yesterday for 100 subscribers. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Or whoever, watched it afterwards. Hey, Deku, do you want to walk with us? We're going to stop by this cute little coffee shop that just opened. Can you come? Uraka asked. I don't believe cute is the best way to describe it, but would you like to join us? Ida added. I can't, sorry. My mom told me to be home early today. I don't want to worry her, Izuku apologized. Oh, well, maybe next time. Have a good weekend, Midoriya. Uraka smiled, waving goodbye at him. You too. Oh, you too. You too. I'll see you on Monday, Izuku waved back. Izuku began to walk towards his house until someone approached him. They looked shady, like some drug dealer. Their face was hidden by them looking down as they walked and a hood covering their head. The person wore all black. It would probably make them invisible in the dark. Hey, you're that kid from the UA Sports Festival, right? My name is Ryan. You have such an amazing quirk, the person suddenly greeted. Izuku sweated nervously. With the many recent villain attacks, he wasn't sure if he should respond to this person. Oh, sorry, I must look like a villain or something with this on. Nice to meet you. What's your name? You said, taking off your hood. Izuku was a bit more comfortable, saying that you looked only about his age. You had hair-length, hair-color hair, and eye-color eyes. My name is Midoriya Izuku. Thank you for what you said about my quirk. What about you? What's your quirk? He replied. Oh, nothing special, especially compared to yours. I always wanted to go to UA, but I didn't even get into the general education program. I guess I just wasn't meant to become a hero. You shrugged off the statement. Don't say that. You can be a hero other ways. Just because you aren't in one of the big schools doesn't mean you can't take the top spot, he replied, his eyes glowing with determination. You smile. I appreciate the support, but being a pro isn't something for me. Well, it was nice to meet you, Ryan-san, Izuku bowed. Wait, let me just... Here, you smiled, pulling out a pen. You grabbed his hand, causing him to blush intensely as you wrote something down. A girl was touching him. A girl was touching his own hand, one he didn't really know for that matter. I know it's really sudden, but if you want to talk sometime, call me. You smiled and turned around to leave. Midoriya continued to blush as he looked down at your name on his hand, next to your phone number. Looking up again, you were already gone. And I cracked my neck. It's not telling me, how long this video is so far. It's probably just a glitch, but it's just making me a bit annoyed. Okay. Lately, Inko Midoriya has been more concerned than usual over Izuku's safety. Of course, it had been similar to when he started UA with his newly developed quirk, but this was different. A dangerous villain was once again on the loose. They struck at night, and many people called them combustion. Since the only images of them were ones where they had burst into flames, it was half an hour past when Izuku finally returned home, and she had begun to worry. Ingo turned on the news, and it was already another report of a burning building due to combustion. This time the building was a justice center. It was near a hero agency, too. Yet no one was able to catch the villain. She was terrified for her son's safety. His quirk gave him no way of defending fire. The most he could do would be to run away. The gust of air in response to his quirk would probably make the fire even worse. "Mom, I'm home," Izuku called out, opening the front door. "Izuku, you're back, finally! I was so worried," she cried, tightly hugging her son. What? Why?" he asked. He looked at the clock, seeing that it was later than usual. I'm sorry, Mom. I missed the first train, and I thought I'd be back in time, so I didn't call you. I'll try not to be late next time, I promise," Izuku said. "Have you heard of the new villain?" She quickly changed the topic. "Huh? What new villain?" he asked, then looked at the TV that was displaying the news report. "The media is calling them combustion. I was scared that you had gotten involved in the attack. I don't want to see you hurt again, Izuku," she said, hugging her son once more. "Don't worry, Mom, I won't," he smiled reassuringly. "Good. Now let's have dinner. I decided to make your favorite tonight," she said, returning to her usual upbeat mood. Now I'm scared that you can't hear the music. Ugh. I need like a middle part. Izuku started texting you not long after getting your phone number. It took about 30 minutes to send a simple, "Hi, this is Midoriya." You two talked to each other daily after that. Some days, too, he'd meet you outside of school, at the park, or in a cafe. "Hey, Izuku," you called out to him. He was walking with Uraraka and Ito when he heard your voice calling his name. "Hey, Wyan." "Wait. Wyan, what are you doing here?" Izuku freaked out, realizing you were meeting him after school, unlike when you normally did. "Deku, who's this?" Uraraka asked. "Deku? I asked you about nicknames, and you never told me that one," you whined to him. Oh, hi. I'm Wyan. What's your name?" You introduced yourself, sort of. "I'm Uraraka Ochako," she introduced. "My name is Ida Tenya. Is there a surname we can address you by?" the blue-haired boy asked. Uraraka laughed at how formal he was, even holding his hand out for a handshake. "You didn't shake his hand." You did shake his hand." "Nah, Wyan is fine." "It's nice to meet you too, Uraraka-chan and Ida-kun." It's nice to meet you too. How did you meet Deku-kun?" Uraraka asked. "Well, I saw him at the UA Sports Festival on TV. His quirk was really cool, and I had to talk to him when I saw him. I gave him my phone number, and we've been talking ever since," you explained. "Aw, that's so cute. So you two are dating?" Uraraka asked with a bit of a wink. My computer just turned off. Uraraka-kun, that's not an appropriate question to ask," Ida explained. No, we're just friends," Deku blushed, shaking his hands rapidly in front of him. "Yeah, you seem like a better match for him," you winked. What? Uraraka stuttered as he started walking past them. "It was nice meeting you guys, but I have to get going. Talk to you later, Izuku." He smiled and waved goodbye to them. Bye, Wyan, Izuku said, still stuttering and blushing. You chuckle and walk off. So where does she come from?" Uraraka asked. "What?" Izuku asked. "Yes, what school does she go to that she is so close to here often?" Ida added. Sorry, I don't really know. Wyan doesn't live near here, but she has to come here every day for some reason," Izuku explained. Ida and Uraraka looked at each other, thinking the same thing. Maybe you shouldn't engage with her too much. She could be dangerous. Ida, oh wait. Maybe you shouldn't engage with her too much. She could be dangerous, Ida finally said. Now that you mention it, I met her right after the villain combustion started attacking me, but those are two completely unrelated events. It's like saying that because I dropped an ice cream, I'll drown in 8 hours. It's not correlated, Izuku began rambling in his shaking and blushing state. She seemed a bit shady, though. Just be careful around her, Deku-kun, Uraka interrupted him. Okay, I'll look out for that, Midoriya sighed. So Midoriya, I never got to ask how you did your internship went. Even after you got caught up in the attack, Uraka changed the subject quickly. You stood in front of a building waiting for the right moment to go in. No one knew about what you did. No family to care, and no friends either. Isn't Izuku your friend, you thought? Somewhere in the back of your head? You didn't feel any bit of guilt, not telling your only friend Midoriya he was training to be a hero at UA and seemed very passionate about it. If you ever did tell him, he would eventually do something to stop you. Your villainous rampage had been going on for nearly a year. Just now you had decided to hit this hero-infested area. Yesterday it was a justice center next to a hero agency. Now it was a hero agency itself. It was nowhere near the last one, and you weren't quite sure which one this was either. If you had to guess, it would probably be the agency for the hero fourth kind. You might not have known the exact agency, but you were smart enough to know it wasn't one of the top 10. It was earlier than you normally let your attack take place. You took a deep breath and started walking inside, looking down. Hello, can I help you with anything? Possibly a secretary asked. You gave no response, but began to activate your quirk, lighting your upper body on fire. The clothes you were wearing easily let the fire pass through them without burning them, as they were designed to do so. Flames covered your face as you looked up. The lady gasped and did something quickly on her computer before running off. Seconds later, an alarm sounded. You laughed, lighting your lower body. You shot flames around the room, burning whatever they touched. Get 'em! You faintly heard someone yell. You quickly turned your body to the voice. It was only police officers in the distance. I'll have to worry about that later, you thought. A second later, the flames covering your body disappeared. What's going on? You muttered, trying to activate your quirk with no results. Don't tell me it's... Your thoughts trailed off as you looked up to whoever just stopped you. Alright, kid. Game's up. The underground hero eraser had watched you carefully. His hair was up in the air and eyes glowing red. He was stopping you from using your quirk. Police officers grabbed you by both arms, dragging you outside to the swarm of officers and police cars. Fourth Kind stood outside the door beside Eraserhead. It only glared at the pros. You weren't really looking to get beat up today. I wonder what Izuku would think. My face will be all over every media outlet at this point, you thought, keeping a blank face as you were brought outside of the building. There was already a small swarm of media members. It was like they were suddenly called there, camera crew and all. Some police officers were restraining them from coming closer to you, and the other officers. Are you in fact the villain named Combustion? A reporter questioned. Fuck yeah, he said with a proud tone. There was an uproar of questions and follow-ups afterward, but you weren't allowed to say anything else. As you got put into the police vehicle. Meanwhile, Izuku was finally able to accept his friend's invitation to go to the new coffee shop. The three got a coffee or smoothie while paying little attention to the people that seemed to be looking outside and frantically leaving the shop. As they left, they noticed a crowd of people standing outside. They were staring at the building that seemed to have a few burn marks on the exterior of the lower level. It must have been a combustion attack. That's the only villain lately It must have been a combustion attack. That's the only villain lately who's been burning down buildings, Uraka pointed out. They're bringing someone into a police van. Maybe they caught them, Izuku replied, a bit happy that the destructive villain might have finally been caught. They look dressed like that friend from earlier. Ryan, was it? Ida said. Being the tallest, he was able to slightly see the villain over the crowd. Maybe it's not combustion. It's a bit odd for one of their attacks. They normally attack late at night. It couldn't be Ryan either. She wasn't even heading this way, Izuku insisted. I guess we'll probably find out soon. The media will be talking all about it if combustion is caught, Uraka said, taking a sip of her smoothie. Yeah. Oh, I just realized. Yes. I'm sorry for, that. I guess we'll probably find out soon. The media will be talking all about it if combustion is caught, Uraka said, taking a sip of her smoothie. Yeah, you're right, Izuku said. He was hoping that the person he'd been growing close to lately wasn't currently one of the most destructive villains in Japan. I have to go before I miss the next train. Thanks for the coffee, Ida. I'll see you tomorrow, Izuku exclaimed, running off while waving to his friends. Bye, Deku, he heard Uraka call while he ran off. Izuku couldn't believe it. He didn't want to. His feeds were filled with images and videos of you, all of which talked about the capture of the villain, combustion. You seemed so nice, though, and you talked often about wanting to be a hero. You didn't seem to hold any qualities similar to those of a villain. What especially confused him were the videos that were surfaced of things you said when asked if you regretted your actions. The answer was no. You easily incriminated yourself already before the court date. Midoriya-kun, are you alright? It must be terrifying to know you were in such close contact with a villain like that. Have you released any of the information from... Oh, wait, this is Ida. Midoriya-kun, are you alright? It must be terrifying to know you were in such close contact with a villain like that. Have you released any information from them to the police? Ida asked when Midoriya arrived at school after the weekend. Whoa, Midoriya, you were talking to a villain? Kaminari asked. Who was it? Mina also asked. Combustion. She always talked about wanting to be a hero and help others. I didn't expect her to be a villain, Midoriya explained. Really? It must have been so scary knowing you were talking to a villain, Hogakure exclaimed. It doesn't feel real, he replied, not knowing what else to say. You didn't grow attached to her, right, Midoriya? Todoroki asked. A shiver went down Midoriya's spine from Todoroki's ice-cold glare. No, of course not. I'm just shocked as all. Who knows what would have happened if we continued to talk? Midoriya lied. Others nodding in agreement with his reasonable concern. He had grown a bit more attached to you than he would like to admit it. He was even beginning to border having a crush on you, but of course that wouldn't continue now. You were a villain and probably would be locked up for the rest of your life. Yet a bit of him still wished for a future with you. He knew most of what you told him was probably fake, and you had killed hundreds, nearly thousands of people from your attacks. He still wished for that regardless. Later that day, the results of your trial were surfaced. Several places had different stories, but it all seemed to share a similar story. You were trialed as an adult, and what you had said in earlier interviews was enough evidence to throw you into jail. From there, Izuku heard varied information. Some sources that you might receive capital punishment. More reliable sources said that your trial hadn't provided any proof of your actions being done with the intent to kill people. Despite what other side seemed to argue, Ezekiel had felt a bit sad hearing that. There was a lot that happened to villains after they were captured. Normally, remorse was one of the last emotions felt towards a dangerous villain once they were sent to prison, although hearing about teenage villains always put a bad taste in his mouth. She killed people with Zuko. It's good that she can no longer roam the streets to hurt others, he told himself. Zuko jumped out of thought when his phone made a noise, alerting him that he received a text. He picked up his phone, confused. Who would be texting him? His breath stopped, seeing his phone screen read, "One new message from YN." His skin crawled as he opened the message. It was so much more scary now that he knew you were a villain. This text was probably your last words to anyone in the public, and definitely the last to Zuko. Looking at the text, all it said was, "I'm not sorry." And that is all. I really hope this all recorded. My computer keeps turning off. I really hope this all recorded because it's not saying anything that it is recording. But who knows? That was the Midoriya ex-villain listener. I like it at least. I don't know if you guys will like it, but it seemed cool to me. I don't know. I mean, don't take my word for it. I just like feeling like a badass as listening or YN. But anyway, I hope you all enjoy. And yeah, this isn't a Bakugo's listener one. I know it's crazy. That's like my favorite character. But I saw this one, I was like, let's do it. So thank you all for listening to this. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.